If you're about to cut a layered bob at home, stop. Most people don't ruin their hair with the scissors, they ruin it before the first cut. Let's go step by step through the safe beginner method. Here's what I mean. You can have the sharpest scissors, watch a dozen tutorials, and still end up with a disaster.
Why?
Because most beginners skip the preparation. They don't section properly. They cut on wet hair when they shouldn't, or dry hair when they should go wet. They hold the scissors at the wrong angle. And by the time they realize something's wrong, they've already cut too much. But here's the good news. Cutting a layered bob at home is absolutely doable, even if you've never cut hair before. You just need to follow the right steps in the right order. And that's exactly what I'm giving you today. A safe, foolproof, beginner-friendly method that protects you from the most common mistakes. Welcome to the channel, and if you're new here, you're in the right place. I break down hair techniques in a way that's simple, clear, and actually achievable at home. Today, I'm walking you through every single step of cutting a layered bob yourself. We're covering the tools you need, how to prep your hair properly, how to section for layers, the exact cutting technique to use, and how to check your work so nothing looks uneven. Before we start, do me a quick favor. If you find this helpful, hit subscribe and tap the notification bell so you don't miss future tutorials. And drop a comment telling me, is this your first time cutting your own hair? I'd love to know. Alright, let's get into it. Step 1. Choose the right length, the weight line. The very first decision you need to make before you even pick up scissors is where you want your bob to fall. This is called the weight line, and it matters more than you might think. The weight line is essentially where the bulk of your hair sits. It's the heaviest, most defined part of your bob. On a classic bob, this is the perimeter, the bottom edge. On a layered bob, you still have that perimeter, but you're adding movement above it. So, where do you want that line to be? Chin length? Below the chin? Grazing your collarbone? Each choice creates a completely different result. A chin-length bob feels sharper, more structured. It draws attention to the jawline. It's bold. A below-chin bob is softer, more relaxed. It has a bit more versatility. A collarbone bob offers the most flexibility. You can still pull it back, and the layers have more room to move. Here's why this decision comes first. If you don't decide your weight line before cutting, you'll make it up as you go. That's when things go wrong. You cut a little here, a little there, and suddenly everything is uneven. You've lost your anchor point. Pick your length now. Commit to it. This single decision shapes your entire bob. Everything else flows from here. Step 2. Establish the base shape first. Here's where most beginners make their first big mistake. They get excited about layers and start cutting into the interior of the hair right away. That's backwards. A layered bob always starts with a clean perimeter. The perimeter is your outline, the bottom edge of your hair all the way around. Think of it as the frame. You wouldn't hang a picture without the frame being straight first. Same principle here. If you start layering before the perimeter is established, you have no reference point. You're cutting layers into chaos. There's nothing to balance against. And when you finally try to even out the bottom, you'll realize you've already removed too much length in some areas. So step 2 is simple. Establish your base shape first. Create a clean, even perimeter at the length you chose in step 1. Take your time with this. Check that both sides match. Look at it from the front, the sides, and use a second mirror to see the back. This perimeter doesn't have to be perfectly blunt. A slight graduation is fine. But it needs to be intentional and controlled. This is your foundation. Once this is solid, you have structure. You have something to work from. The layers come next, and they'll make sense because they're built on something stable. Step 3. Understand elevation, how layers are created. Now we're getting into the part that intimidates most beginners, layers. But layers aren't magic. They're just a result of elevation. And once you understand elevation, everything clicks. Elevation simply means how high you lift a section of hair away from the head before cutting. The higher you lift, the more dramatic the layers. The lower you lift, the more subtle. Let me break it down. If you hold hair straight down against the head and cut, you're creating no layers. The hair stays one length. That's zero elevation. If you hold hair straight out from the head at 90 degrees and cut, you're creating significant layers. That's high elevation. For a layered bob, you're usually working somewhere in between. Moderate elevation. You're lifting sections slightly, maybe 45 degrees, to create soft, blended movement without removing too much bulk. Here's the key for beginners. Keep your elevation consistent throughout each section. If you lift one piece at 45 degrees and the next at 60 degrees, your layers will be choppy and uneven. Consistency is what creates smooth, flowing layers. And when in doubt, go lower rather than higher. Lower elevation creates subtle layers that blend easily. Higher elevation removes more weight and creates more dramatic texture, which is harder to fix if you overdo it. Start conservative. You can always add more texture later. You cannot undo layers that are too short. Step 4. Cut conservatively, the safety rule. This step is less about technique and more about mindset. And it might be the most important one of all. Cut less than you think you need to. Every single time. Here's why. Hair behaves differently when wet versus dry. Wet hair stretches and looks longer. Then it dries, shrinks, and suddenly that chin-length bob is grazing your earlobes. This is how most home haircuts go wrong. You get confident. You cut. You dry your hair. And then you panic. The safe beginner method accounts for this. Cut conservatively. Leave more length than you think you need. Dry your hair, or at least a section, and assess the true length. Then refine. You can always trim more. You cannot reattach length. Let that be your guide. Step 5. Balance and face framing. You've established your base. You've added layers. Now it's time to bring everything together, and this is where face framing becomes crucial. The front sections are what people see first. They frame your face. If the front doesn't connect smoothly to the back, the entire haircut looks disjointed, even if the back is perfect. For a modern, flattering layered bob, the front pieces are usually slightly longer than the back. This creates a soft, face-framing effect that sweeps toward the chin. If the front is shorter than the back, the bob can look dated or blunt. The goal is smooth connection. Your eye should travel seamlessly from the shortest point in the back to the longer pieces in the front.
No harsh jumps.
Just a continuous, flowing line. To check balance, bring both front sections forward and compare. They should match. Then check your profile. Does the front connect logically to the back? If something looks off, don't panic. You cut conservatively. You have room to adjust. Let's bring it all together. You now have a complete roadmap for cutting a layered bob at home, safely, confidently, and without disaster. Step 1. Choose your weight line first. Decide exactly where you want your bob to fall before you touch the scissors. This decision shapes everything that follows. Step 2. Establish your base shape. Create a clean, even perimeter before adding any layers. Structure first, texture second. Step 3. Understand elevation. Lift hair away from the head at consistent angles to create smooth, blended layers. Lower elevation for subtle movement, higher elevation for more drama. Beginners should stay conservative. Step 4. Cut conservatively. Always remove less than you think you need. Hair shrinks when it dries. You can refine later, but you cannot restore length. Step 5. Balance and face framing. Make sure the front sections connect smoothly to the back. Check symmetry. Aim for a seamless, flowing silhouette. That's the safe beginner method. 5 clear steps.
No guesswork. No chaos.
Now here's what I want you to understand. Cutting your own hair can feel intimidating, especially the first time. But intimidation fades when you have structure. When you know exactly what to do and in what order, the fear loses its power. You don't need to be a professional to achieve a beautiful layered bob at home. You just need patience, the right approach, and the willingness to work slowly. This isn't a race. There's no timer. Take your time at every single step. And remember, imperfection is normal. Even professional hairstylists make adjustments. Even salon cuts need refinements. If your first attempt isn't flawless, that's okay. You'll learn from it. You'll improve. And the next time, you'll be even more confident. The fact that you're here, learning the method before grabbing the scissors, already puts you ahead of most people. You're being smart. You're being careful. And that's exactly what leads to success. You've got this. If this guide helped you feel more confident about cutting a layered bob at home, hit that like button. It helps this video reach more people who need it. Subscribe if you want more clear, beginner-friendly hair tutorials. I post regularly with techniques you can actually do yourself. Drop a comment below. Are you about to try this? Have you already cut your hair at home before? I'd love to hear how it went. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your cut. And I'll see you in the next one.